And it has to do, on one hand, with the inequality of resources and what the consequences on our environment, on the ecological footprint that we have in the world. So these two elements together made me become aware that this structural systemic violence had to be sort of addressed at the root. So that's why I came to Bhutan. This is a photograph taken in one of these these feeding centers in Darfur. And you know, in the feeding centers, it was a terrible experience because, you know, if the children were below a certain body mass index, then they were allowed to get some food, and so they were getting into the feeding program. And then I was monitoring some of these feeding centers, and then when I was coming back some months later, I was asking, has there been improvement? And the people in charge said, not really. And when we tried to figure out why, after a while, the mothers had to admit, well, you know, I have 4, 5, 6 children at home. You give me food for one, I have to share it. And therefore, the children were all still underfed. So we decided to say, okay, so that what we need to do is when we feed one child, we also feed their siblings. So the mother doesn't have to choose. And then when I came back a couple of months later, I asked, so has it improved? They said, well, not really. And then when we tried to find out, we found out, you know, like when you get into the food program, you get food for, let's say, 3 months. And then it stops because, you know, we cannot feed the whole population all the time. The resources are simply not available. So we found out that many mothers underfed one of their children intentionally so that they could keep being on the food program to feed the whole family. So, you know, when you realize what does it mean for a mother to have to do that, but that was what the price they had to pay in order simply for the whole family to survive. You know, but what a heartbreak, you know, but that's the world we're living in. You know, that's the consequences of this inequality, of this, you know, completely unfair distribution of resources, and of the way we are dealing with our environment. These are the consequences.